I'll tell you what, this number we're about to play, it's an oldie but goodie. It's a classic when it comes to the guest we're hosting this afternoon. I used to listen to it way back, and it taught me some life lessons. In life, you must always keep your eyes on the road. When we return with our superstar for the day, Reggie Rockstone!
What's up, everybody? This is Trigmatic, and you're listening to Africa Global Radio. Stay tuned.
Myself clear, yeah. Do I make myself clear? Yeah. Then clap your hands like there was a million mosquitoes in here. Jump like you were some crazy ass frontier. Party people, show me how you feeling back there. Do you want to party boogie? Then get out your chair. The big behind me became a shake aware. Call me whatever you want, but don't call me set. Black musketeer, I swear, I do declare. Yeah, definitely my year to cheer. Cause that's all the boy really wanna hear. But beware, no fear. I see the jealousy everywhere. I work for myself, so you can't tell me nothing. Now who's laughing? I told you the plan, kid. You thought I was bluffing. Never say it down till the bulls are right. I dropped one album, now everybody rapping it. Opposition digging it, got some others screaming it. I got the youth backing it. Got the feeling when I'm talking. No cash, we drive a truck, C-class when you're walking. Respect yourself, cause I'm watching. Cause my style is shocking. Got the clock ticking. Yo, tell me, I be the number one secret weapon. In Africa, I'm open for discussions. Now tell me. Clear, yeah, plus I got the facts to back the superstition. Beast the mystical fear and whatever the mission. Forget the World Cup, check out your condition. Economical competition before the dribbling. The biggest crime in Africa, skin bleaching. Jericho, baby, now that's a sinning. Jesus Christ was a bibini, what I believe in. Make I free my mind, this morning, afternoon, and evening. I don't know what time it will be when you get to listen. Wear your K socks, even when you kiss it. Cause it wets it wet, anything could. Big disease with a small name is frightening. Sexual suicide, not physical attraction. Don't wanna be nobody napkin. If you help in the making of your song, then it's you that I'm thanking. I don't care who you are, if you be a superstar. JarWaakye, Rockstone, catch a blasting. Yo, baby, I'm burning. Plus I'm feeling very, very African. Where was you when we was we? Way before I started rapping the tree. Backbush, muscle tea, guaranteed. Good times, way before glance was my irony. When if you talk big, you have to back it with money. Randy P, I was doing the DJ Papa Jimmy, and everything was fine. See, yo, sometimes I sit back and try to reminisce. Shows like a sulfur dazzle, we all miss. Do I make myself clear, G? Do I make myself clear?
Yeah, I'm sure I make myself clear, yeah? This is the best show in Africa when it comes to arts. And of course, we keep doing it banger after banger. It's another hot afternoon in Accra, and it's about to go down because the man you hear there in that number, well, he's in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you our special guest this Saturday afternoon. The grandpapa himself, the enigmatic, indefatigable, unstoppable Charlie Mentwasana. I say he's beginning to blush. He's black, but he's beginning to blush. Reginald Yao Asantiose. That's what he's known as in real life. Well, he's in the building. Of course, you probably know him more famous for the name Reggie Rockstone. I fondly call him Double R. That's a name I've given you, yeah? Well, welcome, Reggie Rockstone, to the Arts Africa show right here on Africa.
Thank
Global Radio.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. When you say Africa, you know I'm coming up here. Yep. I'm all about this. So
It's
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Thank
I
you
mean,
for
I've done
having
stuff
me.
in this industry. First time interacting with you face to face like this. I cannot say, hey.
It was weird with all this the face mask. I probably know you and I can't even identify you. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Anyway.
I'm happy to be here.
Let's get down to it. And of course, we have Ricky here as well.
Yeah, Ricky
your
on
son.
he on the ones and twos.
Yeah, man. Anyway, so let's do this. One thing everybody identifies you with is not just your rap music, but your locks.
Well, that too, yeah.
When did you start locking your hair? How long have you had your locks on?
For a very long time. As a matter of fact, I've never had short hair in my life.
You've never had short hair?
No, I can't remember. I mean, I guess when I was born, but even then, my mother said I had hair. I was always a hairy kid. Well, reason is I was always I had a big imagination as a kid. And, of course, my parents were very hip. So, you know, the afro, it was almost mandatory. You know what I mean? We was all on our, you know.
Yep.
And so when the afro came in and then we went to the high top fade, I cut the sides and I went on the kid and play, you know. And then that went out of style. Still no Jerry curls. Yep. And then I was left with a bush on top of my head, you know, not knowing what to do with it, you know. So I would always wear Scully. And wintertime in New York or even in the UK, I would always wear a bandana or wear Scully. So a friend of mine by the name of Freddie Funkstone, that's my rap partner.
Okay.
Freddie Funkstone, that's where my name comes from, Reggie Rockstone. He would always play me out when we were in public and snatch the Scully off my head to embarrass me.
So your hair would be exposed.
Yeah, so what I did was I started to twist the top just so when he snatched it off, it looked like I had a little mane.
Like folks here do, they go to
they like you had a little style, so you styled it out instead of, you know, you got a mattress press on one side, and this is how it all began. And so I was dating a sister at the time who had dreads, and she would always play with my hair, twist my hair. So I got one half done, another half, and then that's it. I got dreads.
Wow.
So that's the story of how I came into. It was by default. I didn't wake up and say I want to have dreadlocks. No.
You just wore it, and once you started, you never stopped.
No, it just came to me because I had no intention to cut my hair anyway. So that was it.
That means you've done this for decades, literally.
Yes,
4 or 5 decades, close.
Well, I had dreads for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I see your son, Ricky. I don't know whether he's imitating dad or whether
Well, my whole family. My wife got dreads.
Zilla as well.
Yep. His sister got dreads. His auntie got dreads. His damn, like the whole family, everybody.
But you started the trend.
On my side, yes.
On your side.
Yes, and Zilla would set it off on her side.
See, you're an influencer everywhere you go.
I guess so.
Even with the locks.
I guess so.
But I just had to, run this by you. I don't know whether you've ever heard, but I hear back then, you know, when some of our ancestors, forefathers were taken by the Europeans into different parts of the world, slavery
big
and all of that.
Ride, yes.
You know, some of them would not, you know, for a long time even see water and all of that. So they kept their hair in a certain natty, way. And supposedly that's where the locks, you know, came from. So it's very African. It's something that resonates with us. But I hear that they added dread to it because
it looked dreadful to them.
It looked dreadful. Have you ever heard that bit? So I refer to it as locks, not dreadlocks.
I hear that all the time. You know, you check folks that you want to check to be politically correct.
Yeah.
Yes, I heard stories. You know, even when you check the fetish, you know, the fetish usually keeps the hair locked, or it's a natural.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just it's they don't cut their hair. I mean, like I keep telling folks, you never seen a picture of even the white Jesus with short hair. You know, even the white Jesus ain't got short hair. And so, I mean, why you think when we catch a thief, you know, they scalp you? I mean, they cut your hair. If you join in the army, you know, as a sign of whatever, they cut your hair. If you're accused of witchcraft or whatever, they go for your hair. And then you could take it all the way to Jesus and them when they, you know, said, no blade shall touch my lock. The Nazarites, you could go right back to Samson.
Yep.
I mean, with Samson's strength, you know, he wasn't no Caucasian now. that was a big black man there.
That guy wasn't playing.
Yep. you know, they was trying to put their knees on his neck.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so a bit of history when it comes to, a bit of history when it comes to locks and all
Yeah.
of that. I mean, if you have it, well, I don't have enough hair right now for the locks. But
Well, you
we'll
Telly
see- we'll see what
Savalas
God
with
will
yours.
do.
you so bald, I could read your mind.
That's a good one. Well, I saw my barber this morning, so
yeah, don't worry.
I guess his handwriting tells on my head.
You got Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Baba. That's who you got.
You know? Anyway, so that's a bit about Reggie Rockstone, our special guest who joins us in the studio. But let's talk a bit about style.
Yes.
Reggie, you're a fashionista. I don't think
Somewhat.
you're even going to dispute that.
Somewhat.
Like, I've
Somewhat.
watched you over the decades, right from the 90s. I mean, there's even this track with you behind, like, a bar, and
Yes,
you're
yes.
shaking up stuff.
Yes.
You're doing what the mixologist
Yes,
of today
yes,
would do.
yes.
Now, everything has a fancy
I
name.
know, right?
And-
Mixologist.
And you're doing it, and even your style, I'm like, hey, Reggie,
How quiet guy.
tell us a bit about design. Do you get it from your father, who actually, Ricky Osei, who actually was a fashion
designer,
Do you
yes.
get that from him?
I think so. I was
think
I
so?
was born into fashion. When I was born, my father was very stylish. My mother, all of my folks were very stylish, and that's all I know. At a very young age, I knew how to pick out my clothes, match what. I mean, Ricky and them, they all do it. My daughter does it. So yes, the credit would go to the legendary Ricky Saint-Osei.
Wow.
The apple does not fall too far from the tree.
It never does.
Yeah.
It never does, apparently.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about growing up, about education, about the sort of influences
I grew up
that you had.
I grew up really fly. My childhood, I always tell people I had one of the best childhoods. My childhood way better than my adulthood. Even though I'm still good here. But yeah, man, I grew up in a very artistic home. My folks were very eclectic. If we was white, we would be hippies.
Kind of
You know,
like Wyclef.
Yeah, my household was just buzzing with music, laughter, a lot of love, joy, fashion, art, it's just a beautiful, it was a free house. Everybody was welcome in my house. The whole neighborhood knew us. Everybody, you could come in there, eat, you could come in there, you walk past my house and just come in. That's it. And that's how I grew up. I had a beautiful childhood. Also, I was a child star. I got famous very early.
Oh, you want some Michael Jackson stuff?
Yeah. I was, I started winning dance contests age 11. So,
Wow.
Yeah. By age 11, when I was about 12, I was 2 times junior champion taekwondo. By the time I turned maybe 13, 14, I was the youngest brown belt Shotokan. So I was popular everywhere that I went. So fame is really, that's just how I'm so comfortable in my skin when it comes to being popular or famous or whatever. I grew up into it. This is what I know.
Wow.
But I handled it very well.
We all can see that. You're very
Yeah.
humble. I mean,
Yeah,
as I've known you,
it came with the package.
came with a package.
Yeah. My pops was humble to a fault, and we were really brought up to understand and respect other folks, regardless, And I carried this all throughout my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
As a poet, literary person that I am, I would say fame is your middle name. Yeah. But you handle it
My father
very,
used to say,
very well.
you're only well known for your well-knownness.
Reggie Rockstone is in the building, the grandpapa, the
Yeah,
grandfather of hip life music. We'll be getting into that because I
Okay.
have a few things to run by you.
Sure.
But now that you talk about dancing, you've sort of taken the wind out of my sail. How did the whole music and then rap thing start for you? Was it rap from day one? Did the dancing bit come first?
The dancing came first. The martial arts was always there because, Bruce Lee's like my all-time, even as a martial artist and a philosopher. So I study under Bruce. But
When you say you studied under Bruce, did you personally interact
I
with
never
him,
met
or
Bruce. Boy, if I had.
You just admired the guy.
No, yeah, I've read his books. That's my dude there. If the only thing, funny enough, I never studied his art, Jeet Kune Do. I never did, but I always read Bruce
Oh,
books.
that's what it was called?
Yeah, Jeet Kune Do. Yeah, Jeet Kune Do. Yeah,
Mm.
and so what was the question again about dancing and rap? No, I started to dance first. I started to interpret the music with body movement.
Okay.
And then from there, it's just like anybody else. If you like Nkate Nkwane or Aben Nkwane, eventually you're gonna try to learn how to make it. So if I'm dancing to good music and dancing to music, I just figured I'll make some of my own. And being that I can't sing, but rap has always been my thing because when I was growing up, Cassius Clay, before he became Muhammad Ali, was also one of the folks that I really looked up to, and he was rapping. Muhammad Ali was rhyming, and and it really fascinated me. And then I saw Cab Calloway when he did Minnie the Mooch. That inspired me too. And then I saw Uncle J.W. Ambole, So the spoken word has always fascinated me in that sense, and so I gravitated towards rap. I love the storytelling. I love the bravado. I love the fantasy. Rappers always talking about stuff they don't really have. I got a Lincoln Continental on the brand new Cadillac. But he doesn't have that. And I just gravitate towards that. And
Wow.
that's
So
if I could sing, I probably would be singing too.
So in the 80s, somewhere in the 80s, you were doing your dance thing, like you said, at age 11, you were winning awards and all of that. And then you decided to pick up the mic. Can you mention the age specifically when you picked up the mic?
I can't quite remember. I was young. I was out there. I was young, but I didn't, the way you say, when you put it, pick up the mic, it wasn't like that. I had a job. I had a regular job. I was working at an off license. 9
to 5 kind of job?
Yeah. I was in an off license, Augustus Bonnet, and then I worked at a nightclub. So I was always connected to music somehow. But here's what happened was they overpaid me by mistake.
They overpaid you?
Yeah. So say my pay was like £100 or $100. They messed up and put like 300 or 400 by mistake went into my account. And so I woke up to just money in my account. And I was like, yo.
What do you do with the money?
Yeah, so me and Freddie, and we took, black men, young men, we did what we do with money. Blew the good half. And then I knew a friend by the name of DJ Pogo. If you know Moni Love from the UK, yes. Yeah. So Moni Love, DJ Pogo's Moni Love DJ.
Oh,
and he's like, and at the time, I was traveling between the UK and New York. I would go to Harlem and buy clothes, hip-hop gear, come sell it over at Camden Town. And so I was always dipped. I was rocking troop jackets, the flyers, four-finger rings, the rope chains, hip-hop, the Kangos. And so I took some of that money and I went to the studio with another brother and cut a demo. And I would bump into Pogo much later on, and he's like, yo, I got some beats you could come throw down on. So then I was like, let's go. And I became a rapper. That's it. It's my same thing with my father with the fashion. He was working in a sweatshop over in Cali, in Crenshaw somewhere. And then he just decided to piece the jeans together and made an outfit. And somebody asked him, what do you do? He said, I'm a designer. And he became one. So,
believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself, and that's it. The spoken, speak it into existence. I mean, Pops went on to make clothes for Richard Pryor, for Dinah Ross, for Isaac Hayes, for F. Lee Bailey. And he did the same thing. He came back home and started this whole fashion thing here, which is, what we see today. And I did the same thing. I came home and I decided, yes, English is my first language. I learned to speak.
And of course, you were born there.
Yeah, and I said, look, I'm a dash all of this. I speak very good Tree, and so I'm not gonna rap in English. Let's do this in Tree. And then my father was the same dude that said, yo, man, friend of hip hop, be our friend of Hiplife or whatever. We
give it a Ghanaian, an African twist.
Yeah, we spoke about it. It was right there on the porch. I remember, and we came up and said, okay, Hiplife is the one. It's great branding. It's got the high life, the life from high life, the hip from hip hop. But he's the one that said, don't call it hip hop.
Your father.
Yeah.
Ricky Osei.
Ricky Saints.
Wow.
He's the one that paid for the studio. He's the one that built me the studio. He's the one that flew me down. I originally came home for Panafest. And I'm still here, sat right before you talking about it.
If you never knew, well, you heard it here for the first time. The whole Hiplife thing, well, Ricky Osei of blessed memory.
Yeah, he's the one.
He actually brought it all up.
He's the man.
But let me ask you, so did you ever end up paying the extra money from your account? Did you end up paying it back?
No, I quit. You
quit with the money?
Yeah. They sent all kinds of letters. I think they knew. You know, you don't send no extra money to no black man account in the West, and he come back. I'm a nice guy, but that's
You're
about
getting
it.
that money back.
I ain't that nice.
Let's talk about not being nice. I've seen you, go after people sometimes. I mean, one for a very infamous thing that I don't even want to, bring up here on social media. But we all know, like you mentioned, Taekwondo and Shotokan. Martial arts. You started pretty early, so that's even before dancing, that's before rap.
I was always kicking
the Bruce
something.
Lee influence and all of that.
Yeah.
But, I bring that in because of your physique.
Right.
Now, I don't know, but you're pushing 60 years?
Ah!
Yet you look like a freaking 35 or 40-year-old.
I'm 18, brother. I'm 18.
No, you're not.
I'm 18
You're not.
years
I mean,
old.
for those of you who are watching this man in the studio, I think the only thing that betrays his age is the gray hair.
Well, you're my Nassau crew.
I mean, how do you manage that? Myself, I want to know because, I mean, it's amazing. You may not see his checks, but it's rock solid. I saw the photos and everything.
Well, the thing, though, is because I was physical from a very early age, I guess it what's the word there? It kept me in there, you know.
You're like a gym enthusiast?
Yeah, no, not really, no. But I was physical from a very, remember breakdance in itself. It's that's a lot
Dance
of,
requires a lot of working out and all.
And then I had the martial arts, so I've always been a physical dude. So I guess that preserved me. That's the word there. That preserved me. It might also have some genetics. My father also looked pretty young for his age at the time, even though, he let himself go. But yeah, it might be genetics too. And I also, being that I deal with hip hop, which is, is youth oriented. Hip hop is fueled. It's it's a youthful genre. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of young in heart and young in
your
mind.
mind.
Yeah, because hip life is all young folks. That's I'm talking to. So I don't move old. I don't feel like an old man. I don't move like an old man. In fact, I don't even celebrate birthdays no more. My father didn't celebrate birthdays at all. I'm just on this planet till I check out. I don't have a barometer. I don't have a calendar checking how long I've been here. That's like counting sand or something, man. So I'm just here and I'm waiting to check out. When I do, that's it.
The sands of time. Well, we're here with Reggie Rockstone, Double R, I call him. He's the grandfather of hip-life music. We're going to take a break with one of his, bangers from recent years. When we do come back, I'll be asking him about the pioneering of this entire bit called hip life and who can stake a claim to it. Zap Mallet, Panji, there are so many names, Jeduble, Ambale, so many of them. I'll be asking Reggie about that when we return. Do enjoy this number. It's Reggie Rockstone featuring Slim Vim on Africa Global Radio. This is Arts Africa. We'll be right back.
Africa Global Radio. Our story, our growth, our future.
At times, so draw. If you move here, so draw. You was Santa Jama Monte Meka Akko grab or got loose. Met a Republic bar, sipping my ginger, blowing my fuse. But I'm not the ODG, I'm the OG. See me on TV. What's your someone I do refuse. Me sorry, I don't pan me grab fucking. Instagram account was a someone blocking. So Sean and I will know my warning. Be a pull on and I'm in I'm not knocking. Mouth left, mouth right, got the monkey jumping. I can say meow too. Make you hear the something. You talk now on Facebook, Twitter, yes, you fronting. And then me babe who and so sham wanting. Ain't you walk okay? Ah, Jakakra. Obaji, I am pa. Konkonsa. Next. Panabeda. Panabesa. The Benameba. Obaji, my bomb dada. And then my boasum, the sea, and then my boasum. And then my boasum, and then miss me boasum. And then my boasum, and then miss me boasum. And then my boasum, and then my boasum.
And here one number kick can be my main power soon. I just came to correct Bambani Pakum. The things where some people they do Fatani Pakum. So maybe I'm about to call police banner my phone. Yeah, hey, I am a message. I am a come text. Many not dirty the kid. In my son or sexy pics. What's a mental rap? And yeah, you talking big. What's a very laboro? I know they owe you shit when they make up. Into one to ya.
Next.
Well, this is one from the 2000s, but another one all the way from the 90s. This one is one of my favorites. It celebrates our uniqueness. Different you, of course, different me. Enjoy this one. Right after that, we're back with Reggie.
I listen to Africa Global Radio. Make una tune in, now there the better tunes they come out from.
Some more, Monsana Mohon if you way from and Yanatamokoto from China to Choco, when a my grosso, Moyana Yayo, my horror, Uga say a homo, if I could before I can see it, Tintin and Ketua, Tuntum, Coconia, my pony feet shapes, Coca-Cola Muscatella, Pintua, Subine, you will move on in the womb, Papa, baby Pamano, and the Bishop Penadada, Nomson, I'm a Baba Numa, you Sika, one Jaya, for her water, if you must be Sika, whatever Papa Romoma, which one be you, and we get in the room, as no one that's no man. Skipping campaign, I show Jato, bonnet, elephant, you elephant me. Man, I'm a tiny in every cocoa. So do what you wanna do, yeah, now, okay. Do what you wanna do, yeah, now, okay. Different, you different me. That's no one, that's no me. Elephant, you elephant me. Oh, man, hi, different, you different me. That's no one, that's no me. Elephant, you elephant me. Oh, man, hi, maybe Pema, maybe Superman, maybe now. Unjinia Kobusa, Mamma, no Papa, Bimutinefie, Bimusonoma Katayaka, heavy do disco shoe, Bimoshetota, Bimoko, Bimusopentopa, as no Samin Peta Pantina Metochata, Operation Walla Sabu Yana, Yabasi, Baba Yade, Yebediasa, a snow porn, a snow John, a snow Bratica, and Pa, Obidini Boca, Clinton Kwana, didn't go to Frantoma, Obidani Pelmu, Fooling Yanya, Obisonam dancing from
Reggie doing something in the background.
Yeah, I can't remember all of it. The chorus lines are easier. Different you, different me. This song, the one line in the song that every time I hear, because you know people always, they talk about punchlines and stuff today, but back then we were so politically on point, you know. And at the time, Clinton had come to Ghana.
Yep.
And I remember a picture of him. Well, I think I seen him on TV wearing a full suit. No, Quintino, Afra, Kuchino. And I was like, hell nah. I was like, nah, he never do that in Japan.
Has his suit on, and then he was gifted with kente, and he added it.
Yeah, and my thing though is, you know, you might have offended the Japanese if you rocked it, you know, because they would say, my friend, you know, you gotta go in there, go wear it right, you know. And then he said Medasa instead of Medase, and I was like, damn. Out of all the interns that you got, man, you could have studied this one 100 times. But, you know, this is how militant we was. So that's where that line is from. Clinton Corner didn't coach Frantoma. Obi dane kelmu.
Fully nyanya. Obi so nam dazen from.
For you young heads, nyanya is air conditioned. In case you don't know.
Something I picked, and interestingly, I only picked this when I went over your old songs recently because I knew I was going to be doing this. When you go different, you different me. Esnowo, Nesonome, elephant you,
yeah.
And then it hit me.
Yeah.
Esnowo,
yeah.
Different you, but
different
Esnowo also, has
a
linkage to Osono, which is elephant.
Elephant, yeah. Elephant you.
You had that in mind while you were.
Yeah. Wordplay. That's where, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I said from back then that flew over their heads. But today, So every now and then some young cat will run up on me and say, "Hey, you remember that team talk?" "Yeah, Charlie." And I was like, yeah. But mind you, I was way older than them when I came home, So
Wow. So some depth in there. Reggie Rockstone, our guest this afternoon. Let's talk about the pioneering of, hip life music. Now, as I intimated earlier, Papa Youngson, the Jeduble Ambole, Zap Mallet, Pangianov, Jeduble. I mean, all of these people, in some respect, claim to be the originators of hip life music.
I don't think so.
You also stake a claim.
I don't stake a claim.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Jeduble, I mean, as far back as 1973 with Simiguado.
Yeah.
It's considered, and this is undisputed, it's considered the first rap song in the world. At that time,
it's impossible.
You were 9 years old. You were likely in elementary school.
No, at 9 years old, I knew James Brown, and James Brown was rapping. Get out of here.
Well, officially, that's what it is. That's
not.
what it is.
Even the very word rap was already in James Brown's mouth. He said, "Yo, brothers, rap for taste." What'd you think? I know my history well.
How come he wasn't recognized for that?
How come? Who was it?
James Brown.
James Brown is definitely recognized for rap. R.A.P., repetitive African poetry. He's known for that. He got songs where he talks about rapping. Remember that song, "The Big Payback." You heard that song, "The Big Payback." Listen to the lyrics. So. He actually says rapping in there. There's so many other folks. No. They got it all wrong.
Would you call it rap simply because of the fluidity?
Yeah, you could call it that. Yeah, it's the closest. It's the closest thing to what you. But nothing under the sun is new. Rap does originate from Africa, no doubt. I mean, so Chiame Kasa, Ansano, that's like they talk in a pattern and a rhythm, call it response to Buye, and no different from Naughty by Nature, hip hop hooray, hey ho. It all comes. I mean, it's black people that's rapping, so damn, it's from Africa. However, when they talk about hip life, that's a whole nother thing. My uncle Ambole. Never, ever have you heard him say that he originated hip life. Never. He would say, "I was rapping." Okay? Yep. Or I was doing some rap. But he never said hip life. Now, hip life, those two words came from me. So you could have had a sandwich and named it sandwich or sandwich or double burger, whatever. And then I came and I called mine hip life.
So kind of like Rocky Dawuni calling what he does Afro roots.
That's
and
it.
That is unique.
Uncle Fela said Afro beats. That's it.
But what's in a name? It's more about, is it specifically about the name? Or what fits into the genre?
Well, this is where it gets really silly. The thing, though, is, check my body of work. When you look at my track record,
yep.
Up until I sit here today, you just played La Palma with me and Young Vim. Even if I hadn't coined the name Hip Life, I would have still been the king of Hip Life. Just by my track record.
Undisputed.
You see, because the difference is I didn't just name it and then get on a plane and then leave or, go home and, we put in work. We went all over the world to make sure that this brand stood up. And today, that's why it's here. So all that talk sometimes confuses me, but I'm grown enough not to be confused. It's the younger ones that I get worried for because folks is trying to distort history and for no reason. I mean, how Panji's my brother. Yes. Does Panji rap? No. Does Panji have a track record of making hip life songs? No. He might have a few of them, but for the most,
Zap Mallet maybe.
Zap worked with me. We worked together.
In the studio.
In the studio. Zap was, the man. When we came home, that's the man that we worked with. But, with him, DJ Rab, all of us, we was a team. But none of these folks was out there performing these songs or whatever, or spreading the gospel of hip life. I mean, you ain't never seen Brother Zap on no stage screaming hip life into the crowd. That's me. So, and plus, the name came from home. Also, there's proof because the only song before this particular song, Chobwe, Yes, Choboy. Yeah,
Choboy.
yeah, Choboy.
Hey.
That's the only song that you hear the two words Hiplife in. There's no other song before that. So if Panji or Uncle Ambule or Brother Zap were doing Hiplife, surely the name would pop up in some production or something that he did.
But before that, it had never popped up.
It never popped up.
So I guess it's settled then.
It's never been an argument. This is what bugs me. It's just something that somebody threw in there and just, stirred up and it's just carried on and on. You remember that old joke about the actor that put a gerbil up his, what's his name? Richard Gere. Yeah, you remember that they have this hideous story about, I think it was from National Enquirer. Till date, people believe that story.
What was the story? I don't
About
recall.
he put a gerbil up his booty or something. This is some crazy story.
Oh, wow.
But it ran for years, and this is how the world moves, and especially now that you got social media. So you got some young kid who might not otherwise know the real deal. And that's it. Not that it matters, because I'm still here and I'm still putting in that work. And I mean, if you say that you did this and that, you got to show us what you've done.
So you have your track record. With
track
your albums
record
and everything. But
stands, yeah.
Let's talk about, you're still here, you're still doing that.
Yeah.
VVIP, you joined
Yeah.
them, a couple of years ago. It appears the group has gone dormant. What
Yeah.
next for Reggie Rockstone when it comes to music? A new album, maybe?
I got, first, let me address the VVIP. I always tell people, first of all, that is in the history of the Ghanaian music, that's probably the greatest legendary collaboration of powers. We're still waiting to see Daddy Lumba and Uncle Kojentry put out an album. That would be dope. That would be really dope. But I'm saying, together. Here I am, the Godfather. Here's VIP, who are recipients of Hiplife. And we come together after how many years and rebrand VVIP and make it work.
Yep.
We drop hits upon hits upon hits. In saying this, so we don't have the same vim. Well, we do have the vim, but we don't have the same pressures that the new artists have to put out music. So we don't, when we do, you're definitely gonna hear from us. And you brother, you asked me about VVIP and somebody else.
No, I was talking about VVIP and when,
Oh, yeah, okay, so I got a
you were coming out with
compilation,
some
yes.
more music.
I got a compilation coming up. This is, I've been teasing y'all with, little cuts. That's the one like La Palme with Vim. I got some other young brothers and sisters that I'm, people whose styles I dig, and I just go on a track with you, but really showcasing you.
I saw you with Young Pabi.
Yeah,
recently.
that's another brother there. I got something with him coming up. Kweku Darlington, Vice. There's a whole bunch of them. But basically I'm sparring with people whose styles that I admire. And so it's just like a compilation. I'm not too sure about the name. It's probably going to be 1111. 11. Yeah.
11.
That's the working title for now. 1111, yeah.
1111. You
Yeah.
heard it here for the first time from the grandpapa himself.
Yeah, man.
Of Hiplife. Of course, you've heard by now that Edem is also out with a new album, Mood Swings.
Edem
a
is
bit of a hodgepodge of old and new.
Edem is he's an amazing, besides him being an amazing human being, he's an amazing musician. And, I've had the honor of, vibing with him, and anything that he very passionate about what he does. Very passionate. And his business sense, he's just an all-around sharp dude, so I know it's going to be dope. I haven't heard it yet, but, I'll tune in, because I'm a fan.
Talking about business, we'll be talking business shortly, and I call you a watchepreneur.
Yeah, that's a new one there.
Yeah, watchepreneur.
Yeah,
I know you've done everything from condoms to watche to
clubs, pubs, yeah.
It's been the whole works in there. But right before we get to that, what do you think about beefing, especially among the artists, the Hiplife artists? We've had Manifest, someone whose music I love, Sakodi, another person whose music I love. There's been the Stonebwoy Shatawale thing degenerating into that incident at the VGMAs. Recently, we had some of our female artists also going at it. It appears Is it that the industry feeds on beef? What is it?
I think the whole world feeds on that. That's not just the industry. You know, social media did that again, once again. Sensationalism. You know, people. If a dog bites a man, it's not news. Let the man bite the dog, and you've going viral, brother. That's what they call it, viral. You know, and this is what's happening. It's the state of affairs in the world now. But it started a long time ago. From the very first time I saw the Jerry Springer show, I knew the world had changed. You know, you've seen the Jerry Springer show, yeah. So this is what's happening. People want to see people want to see blood,
mellow
gore.
madness.
People, yeah, you know, and it's human. But then again, you could take it back to the Romans, man. They would throw people in there and throw a lion in there and say, "This is the show." You know, the gladiator. You know, so I think it's human. However, it's also very natural. You know, you could take it from Cain and Abel all the way to Shatta and his brother Stone. You know, it's nothing new. But in terms of sportsmanship, it is a part of the culture of hip hop. You know, dancehall. You know, the rivalry. You know, the skills going back and forth. So I guess. It's nothing new. It's nothing new.
Let's talk business. And here, I don't know whether to call it Rockzilla or Zilla Rock. It's not Godzilla, definitely. But you've been collaborating with your wife, Uzilla Liman.
I have been. I've always, it's 20 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a long collaboration
I can see she has her finger in every pie you get into, which is amazing.
She's probably sat right here with us. Yeah.
How did she feel about your condom brand, though?
That was her. That was her link.
I see.
Yeah. That was her connect. You know, she's the one that connected. It was somebody that she knew.
Okay.
That may he rest in peace. That was my biz partner, but he passed away, and that we put it together. Yeah.
I see.
Rockdoms, yeah.
What happened to it though? You stopped?
After my brother passed away, we kind of slowed up. So we about to go back to the drawing table, and refresh.
You want to come back?
No, we will come back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk Wachi.
Yeah.
And you've got a bit of a backlash with Shatawale, you know, sort of, I don't know whether attempting to denigrate it, but you've been doing this for a while, and from sources, I mean, you're moving the packs.
Yes,
Today's a busy day for you.
Yes, very busy, yeah.
But tell me, I mean, we've done Wachi in our Habain, you know, leaves and everything. But Charlie, Wachi in jazz, why be designer Wachi?
You got to say it right, JarWaakye.
JarWaakye.
Yeah. I mean, you know me, man. I'm not sure. I don't do regular stuff, brother. I'm innovative. I'm always pushing the envelope, you know. And many things that have been done on this planet started some. You know, my father always used to say, "I wonder who thought about toilet paper." You know, almost in here and come up no more sana. We'll be drinking toilet paper. You know, for me, I'm always pushing up that envelope. I'm always trying new stuff. But however, this is a no-brainer though. You know, we've been dealing with the packs. We've been dealing with the styrofoam, and we choking up our gutters. I mean, it's terrible. I live right there in East Cantonments, and every time it rains, my house floods because of our drainage. And it's the same plastic that we throw away that's choking up, you know. And so we need to think. We got to be more eco-wise. You feel me? And can we think of new ideas, new ways to, you know, make sanitation
sustainable ways?
Exactly. And so we came up with this idea. Also, in these times of Corona, that's your safest bet because, you know, when I bring you that jar, you can sanitize it, open it. It keeps it hot. You know, this jar stays to 36 hours in a controlled environment. So I could send you your JarWaakye in New York and you pick it up still hot. You know, it's crazy. And this is why. But the thing though is, every time that you start something new, and my father told me, he said, as soon as they start, you on to something big, brother. He said, the sooner. So I commend all who gave me the attention because God knows I needed it. And once it went viral or whatever, the hype, and then I showed them what it was. And everybody's like, oh, because people assume that you eat. Well, you know what? I'll make it real simple. I got one here. So I can just demonstrate for you.
Please do.
Okay.
Please do. Let's have a demo.
I'll demonstrate this for you right now.
We're going to do this, in a
time
few minutes, and
I
then we're
know,
going to
right?
wrap up on the show.
Yeah.
But JarWaakye featuring with Reggie Rockstone
Exactly.
in the studio. So I want everybody to get good shots of that.
Yes, this is
Aha.
it right
So we have the
Yeah.
polystyrene as well, but of course the jar is also going to be somewhere.
Nah, we got
Definitely.
this here.
Okay.
You know, I can give you my plate, brother. You might not return it.
All right. And the jar and the ahabang.
Okay, so here you go. First of all, it does come in the leaf.
Mm-hmm.
So this, you got a combination of the West and, you know. So when you come, especially for folks like you, corporate folks, you take it off, boom, leaf is already there. Okay? When you open this now, we already stuck a leaf in there to still give you that flavor.
Wow.
It's beautiful, right? And you pull it out like this, okay?
All right.
So your thing comes out. Now guess what? The stew comes right on top. Look at it. It's not even in here. And you're done. It's so simple. You're not
This is actually very
you're
simple.
not staining your Gucci shirt, nothing. This. Between the Gary Gum, Gum, Amon, whatever you want. But you know, we're dealing with recycling, so you got to bring this back. You know, leave a deficit on Pessoa. We'll keep your 10 CD. And that's it. There you go. And you can sanitize this. Now you carry this. If I give you the styrofoam in a pack, you know how much rubbish you just created? There you go. JarWaakye. Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
bon appetit.
Yes, and this is mine
This is
because
yours.
right after the show, I'm
Yeah.
going to dig into this JarWaakye.
Yeah.
Brilliant demonstration right there. It's
Yeah.
pretty simple. I mean, Hajra, Daniel is here.
Uh-huh.
I think we're going to be placing more orders.
Yes, most def. And I mean, we launching this on the 3rd of August.
Okay.
It comes out. I mean, it's not for everybody. We still got the regular one. You know, if you want it the way you want it, it's there. But in these times, and this stays hot, we keep it in the. This is a beautiful story. It's gonna be huge. So there you are. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well, indeed, very creative. I mean, when I saw it at first, and I've seen even yam, and do you do any other things?
You could put anything in a jar. A jar is just a medium. It's nothing. It's no different from your plate. It's no different. People are concerned about, how long can it keep. Like I would, give you something that couldn't. This here stays much longer. You could travel. This could move all over the world. It's a beautiful story. Yeah,
Correct.
And we work with a logistics company called Jar2Go, and that's who we work since 2011. We've been on this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we're wrapping up on the show. Thank you so much for your time. But two things I wanted you to, address right before
Yes.
leaving. The Black Lives Matter movement across the world. How do you see that reflecting here in Ghana with all that, is going on, especially as, there are certain happenings that people feel. I mean, we have people who have died. J.B. Dankwa killed in his home. The journalist with Anas Arameyao.
Yeah.
Anas, Swale and all of that. How do you feel we should be looking at Black Lives Matter, contextualizing it right here in Ghana?
You should look at Black Lives Matter because it does matter because you're black. It's quite simple. And then whatever else you have, whatever views you got politically, whatever, you address those. But it doesn't take nothing away from the fact that, black people are being targeted. And, I don't care if I've lived in the West, I know what racism is. If any one of these brothers and sisters who got slaughtered by these pigs,
George Floyd,
there's so many
Ahmaud
before
Arbery.
them. There's so many before them. Any one of them, that could have been you. I mean, that's. They didn't say, "Oh, that's a Ghanaian. Don't put your knee on his neck. He's a nice Ghanaian." No, that's not what happened there. It's because he was black, and that's you. That's me. It's quite simple. So I don't even want to argue about it. I don't want to go into debate about it.
Yep.
If you got some other issues, let's deal with that too. But don't mix them up.
All right. Let's wrap up with this final one, and we're done. Reggie Rock on the show. Finally, the show isn't a political one, But we here in Ghana all see the needle of the political temperature of our country, ticking in a certain corner that, we wouldn't like, an alarming situation. What do you have to say to your fans, to Ghanaians, and even to all Africans, because this is an African show, they're listening to us from across Africa
Most
and the world,
definite.
who are going to the polls this year and likely next year, all across Africa? What would you say to the people? Because we don't want to see war. War only takes us back. I mean, we don't want to see any strife. It takes us back a whole lot. What would you say to such people?
Well, first of all, until they knock Ejaku COVID-19 out the box, Ejaku COVID-19, you need to really, you got to vote. You got to vote for that safety there. So you strap up proper, your mask, your sanitizer. I don't care what you do. Politics is politics, but even the folks that you're about to vote for are human beings, and COVID don't know no party. It kill anybody. So let's nip that in the bud first. May the best man win. It's your birthright. If you are Ghanaian, whoever you feeling, whoever's politics you feeling, go ahead and do that. But it's necessary that you vote, because if you don't, and you sit somewhere, excuse my language, bitching about stuff, well, it's because you didn't say nothing, or you didn't do nothing about nothing. And so you got to get up and vote. It's quite simple.
Reminds me of that person who saw other people being picked up around him and said, "Oh, it's none of my business," until they came and picked he himself. Then he realized it was his business.
There you go, right there. So
we have a tradition. At the end of every show, we have our special guest leave us with something motivational, a quote, anything. It could be someone's quote. It could be some pearl of wisdom you'd like to share in just maybe a few seconds.
Well, I got to say something motivational. I thought I said it all.
Do you have a favorite quote?
Do unto others as that's from the Bible. Yeah.
Golden rule.
Yeah, that's the one. I live by that. Yeah.
Reggie Rockstone, our special guest this afternoon. Wherever you are across Africa and the rest of the world, thank you for connecting. Time check 1:38 on the dot. Reggie, big ups to you.
That's a P.
Thank you so much. And Ricky,
what's up?
Thank you for coming through with Daddy. I see you with I Love NY in your shirt there. Thank you so much, Reggie Rock, for passing through. This is how we wrap it up this afternoon on Arts Africa. My name is Benjamin Akakpo. Let's connect same time next week with something even more dope. Let's enjoy some more tunes from Reggie Rockstone on this one, 1111. He features Obede Pombede. Sack.
Yeah.
I want two. This is Bello B, straight from the Outlaw Pussy. And wherever I am, I always tune in to Africa Global Radio. Peace. One love.
Coon, get out of the way. Cracker, get out of the way. Normally, I would never mind a troll, but not today. Hey, that why ain't gonna hate? Why ain't no gonna pray? Always got something to say. Never wanna see your family great. Everybody that suffer, you hate. Hey, I know they look, I blog. I'm only looking for God. Maybe ladies on the Instagram. Working, baby, the sky for the stars. Nightlife in a crowd. Well, not down, I said car. Hip life in my bars. Hip hop in my arms. Swag off on Ashanti. Cape Coast to Kumasi. Flow hotter than YG. Show stopping, I watch me. Still out my Beyonce. Rockstone, I'm Beyonce. Still rocking them all day. Still rocking them no play. I'm in love with the cocoa. Ghana export the cocoa. I'm a beast and I'm logo. Casa Rock is the logo. Joe would be Papa Gojo Stock. But yeah, I'm his uncle family. We are all joke Charlie. I know the joke started local. We global. I'm the go from the Gold Coast. 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11.
Y'all can mess around with us. The old and new can vibe with us. I'm young and dope and fabulous. Damn, but the nigga just schooled a lot of us. Just wanna tell my followers. The haters, they're a bunch of swallowers. Reggie Rockstone is part of us. Then I'm going back up and drop it past the cannabis. When you're a regular kind of flow. To make it pin it down the low. The part of it could be the Ghana flow. I'm gonna compare me to Jay some time ago. Guess it's time to go and answer something so. Baby, you when you're a piaggio do. Tell me, grandpa pack up once I wouldn't see more fresh. I frap it too.
Only the realest can mess with this.
Ready to show you how easy this is.
Ladies are dying to be one of chicks.
Twisting up chair, but I'm used to this. Follow my lead cause I used to be broke. Let me show you how rapping just got me the switch. Say major rapping, just like a stroke. And the grandpa will always be taking the risk and it's easy to switch. Nigga don't try cause I'm ready gon' fire. But the man don't target. Got away. Charlie, I'm tired. Reggie, I'm glad. So I got me few bars. Everybody gon' crazy. Ain't nobody better than the nigga who the city down. So I did so cry you for pay. I said, come on, son, I said, we need you one day. But what did I got to prove? Everything is okay.
11, 11, 11.